everybody. Welcome in to Off the Table.
Oh, wow.
Y'all can't hear that, but I hear it in my headphones. John Lunsford, Sean Rockstar Henniger, Laurel Lunsford here next to me. How's everybody's brackets doing? No, it's my wife. How's everybody's bracket doing?
Whoa.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how's the bracket doing?
Is it busted?
I did one, and I did it Thursday. When did it start? Wednesday.
Started Thursday morning.
So Wednesday I did one, and I did what I always do. It took me maybe a minute to fill it all out. I can't tell you who I have winning. I think I had Duke in the Final Four.
I do too.
I had Duke in the
winning.
Did you do it online or did you write it down?
No, I did the ESPN thing, and I have it. I'll have to print it out. But
what was your name?
I was like ESPN 654324446.
I thought you put like number one Rockstar or something.
The badass.
You typically always did the best.
Well, I take the majority of favorites because I don't say, well, I think 16 will be, just to so that I know that this 16 is good. No, I don't try to do that.
Laurel, my lovely bride, who went to Auburn and was a diehard Auburn fan at one point.
I don't know about that. Well, that's
obsessed with Cam Newton.
Bad basketball player.
Picked Auburn to lose in the first round for some reason.
Well, because I'm almost using reverse psychology because I feel like I'm also a jinx for a lot of things because my luck has not been, oddly enough, since we've been hanging out more, my luck has not been as good.
Your aura's a little black.
It's a little, it's dark. But I'm using reverse psychology, so I'm thinking if I pick them to lose in the first round, they've won there.
She talks about how I'm not really an Auburn fan anymore. Like, I don't like Hugh Freeze. I don't like Bruce Pearl. I don't like, people that are associated with Auburn, whatever. But then, I've never seen her more moody than when 4th and 31 happens. I'm moody because Alabama's losing.
That is for
and
a
then
different
when that touchdown
reason.
pass happens,
I'm not going to say it on here, but that was for a completely different reason.
Super upset.
No.
And I'm like, because I had to make a T-shirt for it. And so I'm like, I got to run downstairs and make a T-shirt for this.
That was for a completely different reason.
And she's like, fine, go downstairs and make a T-shirt.
No. It was
Y'all are a true house divided.
What's
your kitchen look like?
With the stuff everywhere. Actually, there's no stuff down there. Okay. I was like, do you think I should just start bringing some stuff back down?
Yeah, she's like, should I start filling the kitchen back up with stuff? It's like, no, they're not done yet. She so wanted to be done. And
just
I was like it's going to take another month.
This is what I'm cooking tonight, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and put this stuff out.
There is no cooking because there is no water in the kitchen.
Just being passive aggressive to the staff.
Yes.
I guess we got to finish it because she thinks she's cooking tonight.
As much as we talk about, hey, so how are the newborns and everything for you? Both your children will be in college before our kitchen is done.
No, it's today. Today's gonna be the last day. You'll be fine.
Today was supposed to be the last day, and they called Friday and were like, "Hey, so we're gonna send the last person out Monday to finish what they need to finish." Okay, cool. And then I texted 10 questions over the weekend, no answer.
Oh, you don't work on the weekend.
And then today I got a text. Hey, they're actually going to come tomorrow, and it's like, of course they're coming.
Because it's kind of sort of raining outside.
Yeah.
Hector doesn't like the rain.
Did you see people roll over? It's like when you're trying to go to class, and you're like, oh, it's right. I'm not going today. It's too much. It's too much.
I can't say much. I was kind of like that in college, but
besides the brackets, there was another exciting thing that happened that was released last week: the new Hunger Games book. Which I went to the Barnes and Noble. I went to 2, and they did not have it.
Is it Susan?
Susan Collins.
Yes, I knew something.
Did you like Hunger Games?
I saw one. I saw the first one. I didn't dislike it, but I just didn't continue.
I know you like Hunger Games.
I didn't read any of the books.
I never read the books, but I love the movies. I love the first and second movie. I did not like the first half of the third.
I don't like the last book.
Because they always split the last two. And then, I like the ending okay, but I really like the prequel.
Yes, the prequel. Actually, I think you would like the prequel.
I like the first movie. I saw
a prequel too.
I think I saw it on TBS too, so I didn't really saw the edited version.
So you never read Harry Potter and you've never watched it?
I've read the first 3 Harry Potter books.
Did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
You stopped for the best one. The fourth was the best one.
Fourth one, I think maybe the third one. I was halfway through, so I can't do it anymore. I like it because Nancy had worked for Books A Million. They had made so much money off Harry Potter stuff, and we'd watch The Sorcerer's Stone. And she's like, you got to understand. It appeals to you when you're 9, and as you're getting older and older and older, like to 18-year-old. And I was like, I didn't like it. I don't mind Lord of the Rings. It's not like they didn't like the
Okay, what
stuff.
is your favorite? Okay, what were the books, both of you? What books did you look for when you were younger? I'll tell you mine in a second.
I loved Harry Potter. Harry Potter came out when I was in elementary school. And then the fourth one, which was my favorite, I think came out when I was in 8th grade. And then they finished up when I was in high school. The 7th one came out like my first or second year of college because I was actually in an airport when it came out.
That's a weird memory.
I just remember I really wanted it, but I was at a gaming. I had just started gaming, like traveling for gaming. And I was in the Dallas airport the day it came out, and they had a ton of them at the Dallas airport. And so I picked one up and read most of it on the way home, and then finished it when I got home. But outside of that, I don't know that there was anything I was like clamoring for. I mean, I read plenty of stuff, but most of what I read was what they made you read in school. I wasn't like a bookworm. I mean, I've read every,
You ever feel like you're a bookworm?
I didn't until later in life. I was not. I was one of. We had to read the Odyssey. I did not read it. We had to read.
Scarlet Letter?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Frankenstein. I didn't read it. Dracula didn't read it.
You didn't read it, so what did you fill out on your
Cliff's Notes?
You just looked at Cliff's Notes.
And it would be I would get
Pride
a
and
bad
Prejudice?
grade. But I don't know if we were. No, but I'm sure.
Oliver
By
Twist?
the time I got into Stephen King, I was in my 20s. That's when I started reading more. Like I think I kept up. I read like probably 30 books one year.
I remember because at our original job, you were always reading.
Yeah, because I would go home from work and I'd sit on the couch with a Kindle and I would read and read and read, eat dinner, read and read and read and go to bed. And I was like, this is awesome. I think it was kind of a depressive stage too. But
you were trying to escape, but
I read my favorite Stephen King book so far right now is 11/22/63.
That's a good one.
That is such an amazing.
Never read the book. I love the TV show.
The book is so much better than the TV show.
I feel like
Did you like the TV show?
I
though?
really like the TV show.
You used
I've
to like
only
The
read-
Shining, right?
I like the book was fantastic, and then I didn't like the remake that NBC did.
It had the guy from Wings on
Yes,
it. Yeah.
Steven Weber.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Jack Nicholson movie's great. I did not like Shelley Duvall.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, it
I've
happens.
only read half of one Stephen King book,
It.
The Stand.
Stand was good. It
Don't
was
know
very
why.
long.
I saw it. Something about it was attractive to me in the bookstore. I bought it, read like half of it, and just kind of stopped
That's
and
like
never went back.
1,300 pages.
It's a very long book.
And
That's
then
probably why I quit, because I was like, I can't finish
and Paramount Plus did a series on it.
Yeah, I never
and
saw it.
I was like, I just can't. Like, I love the book, but I just can't.
But yeah, they have the new. I think it's coming out this fall. Is the Welcome to Derry?
Yeah, I wanna see that.
prequel. I think you'll like. I think you'll like it too because you definitely liked it when they were like younger.
I liked the first. I didn't love, but I liked the first It.
The second it was awful.
And the second one was not good at all. And I never saw the Tim Curry one. And I don't care about.
But
really going
okay,
back to
so
watch
did
that
y'all
one.
ever read? I know you read Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Oh, I loved
Rockstar.
Goosebumps when I was a kid.
Okay, do you remember when you were younger?
I guess I was a
going,
little kid. That's probably what would be my
So
thing.
you had like Goosebumps, and then you would. I can still remember going to like Brooklyn Mall. Do you remember that bookstore that was right next door
Yeah.
to the Tilt? And remember like the Boxcar Kids.
Yeah, Boxcar
And
Children.
The Boxcar
Babysitters Club.
the Babysitters Club.
I never read
It was like
that.
these mysteries.
Sweet Valley
It was
High.
like the Sweet Valley
I
High,
remember
and
that.
they had like the teenage R.L. Stein. Those what those
Fear Street.
Fear Street.
Yeah.
And it's like what will happen at the prom, and it's like someone dying in a prom dress.
The
What will
covers were
happen?
scary as hell, but the books are terrible. I remember Goosebumps. I remember the cover that a kid put on a mask he couldn't get off or something like that. And I was like, this is for like 8-year-olds.
And then like with Nancy Drew, it's like the case of the clock on the wall. It's like,
It doesn't tick for everyone.
it's like well, what's gonna happen to her? What's gonna happen?
The last book I actually read was Ready Player One before the movie came out.
That was a good book.
So that was probably 8 years ago.
You know, he made a Ready Player 2. I think it
He
pretty
did.
much bombed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the book. I
book was
really
really
like the
good.
movie, but they're almost two totally different.
Yeah, the
stories.
book was really,
I
really
mean,
good.
I've heard
yeah.
that people like the book way more,
Yeah.
which seems to
that-
be the case for a lot of things.
Came out in 2018. I probably read the book when I heard it was coming out because I knew it was like, oh, it's video games. I'll like it. I don't think I've read a full novel since then. It's been 8 years.
We gotta get you. We need to do a summer reading like they used to do when we were younger.
Please no.
With the pizza.
Can we do a book fair here?
Can we do a summer play
No,
video
the,
games?
They
instead?
bring those-
the pizza. What was it? The
Pizza Hut.
Yeah. You like brought it in at the end of the summer. You're like, I
I
got
do
a
like those
personal.
little book fairs. You had like the little like
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, I
catalog to
would
look
buy
through, and they'd
out
bring
the
the
book
shelves
fair.
of books.
Because I remember one of the first books I got was celebrity autograph. Like it was a celebrity addresses, and it was pretty much their. Like you could write to Guns N' Roses, you could write to Metallica, but
Oh,
it was
I
actually
remember
it was
things like
to their
that.
record label. So I felt like Axl Rose is actually reading this handwritten letter from the third.
Dear
third
Lars, Napster's not that bad.
You remember the midnight releases? See, that's what there were a lot of midnight releases for the new Hunger Games book. They kind of tried to bring, I think, kind of playing because millennials like us grew up doing. My mom would have my dad. My mom wanted no part of it. My mom was like, "Your dad's gonna take you to this on Saturday night." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, the midnight thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I only ever did it for movies and video games. I never did it for a book.
Oh, I did it for Harry Potter. I did it for.
wait,
I
so
mean,
if you got it at midnight, would you start reading it that night?
yes.
Or like tomorrow night?
No,
you
like
read
I
it?
was like obsessed with books when I was younger. Like, oh, I loved reading, and it was anything. Like I loved the American Girl books. I loved Harry Potter. Now, when I got up older and I got to college, I was in a creative. I told you about this recently. I was in a creative writing class, and it was fiction writing. But for the class, what it meant by fiction writing is there was no genre. So it could not be horror. It couldn't be romantic. It just had to be about people. Just like a conversation like this would be called fiction. Like that's what it was on. It wasn't romantic fiction.
Like if we're laughing, then it's a comedy. If it's serious, then it's a drama. Like it's gotta have some genre to it.
It was not genre. It was non-genre fiction. So that was what the class was.
So it was a super read.
And
I'm sure
so
it was
Laurel talked to Jon.
I went to the store.
Yes.
I purchased items.
It was like that. It was like, I remember I wrote a story about a couple, like it was like an old couple that decided to like stay together because she like found a locket or something.
Oh, that's romantic.
Well, there was this guy that wrote, and he was very
genre can't be romantic. Don't you kiss? Don't do it.
He was very pretentious, and I remember him. He used to wear like a blazer, and he wouldn't talk to anyone. And it was almost like what you would see as like a in a movie. How you would think someone in the English department would add. But he came in, and he had a blazer on, and like his hair was all disheveled, and sit over in the corner. And we had to grade everyone's work, and then our teacher would select someone to talk about it. I was selected to talk about this person's writing, and he can say that he didn't copy it. That's fine, but it was almost verbatim the exact storyline of The Last Song, that Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth movie,
which is a romantic story,
which is a book written by Nicholas Sparks. This boy looked like I had just, he was like, no, there's this part about sea turtles.
This is called the final song.
There was a part about sea turtles, and I was like, this is like a huge plot point in the
final
book.
Musical piece.
I mean, it's fine if you want to say that you didn't copy it. I get it, but like you did.
Him out.
And he was like, no, I have never even heard of that. Who's Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
He like slides the book backwards. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just a very vivid memory I have.
Oh,
so good times for reading.
See, I took a creative writing class in school that the whole point was like,
to be creative,
get into genres, be creative in sci-fi, be creative in romance, be creative in comedy.
I got a minor in English, and so when you're trying to fill those classes, you have to just like pick random classes to take. But yeah, I've never. There were just so many of those, and all the stories were so bored. Like because there's
nothing to them.
Yeah, there's no romance. There's no jump scares.
I wish I could find. I wrote most of a book in my creative fiction. So like, I think actually was like a creative fiction was what it was called. But I tried to make my own major when I was at Birmingham Southern because they didn't have journalism, and I had just interned with you. And so I was like, I want to be a sports journalist.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
They didn't have journalism. So I had to kind of make my own major. So half my classes were when I was at Birmingham Southern. Half my classes were at UAB and half my classes were at Birmingham Southern. The Birmingham Southern classes were like politics and media and like media psychology, and then like some English classes, and creative writing was one to like help me hone my writing craft. And I wrote a book, and it was based off the 5 rules of life, my family's 5 rules of life, but it was like a story off of the rules. And I got probably 90% done before the semester ended, and then I never really went back and finished it. And then my computer died, and I don't have it anymore. I wish I still had it. Like I could have turned it into like a legitimate
call
book.
you George R.R. Lunsford.
That could be an episode.
Yeah.
That could be a character.
Well, it's interesting how long ago was that? Over 15, 20 years ago, and that you're still what your last 10% would be today as opposed to if you finished it back then.
I would probably rewrite the whole thing because my style has changed. That going back, I don't mean to get off track on whatever you're going to bring up next, but like
this fits.
I've gone back multiple times because I have things saved on my phone. So like I used to have an iPod with like all my songs, and I would save things when I was an intern to my on my laptop because I had a Mac. It would save to my iTunes. Like whenever I would like have my Larry Langford montage, it would save there. Whenever I would save a funny clip of something you did, like one thing that randomly pops up all the time is you as Blaze. You did a thing where you called in,
by the way.
where you called in where Blaze was a very effeminate dragon. But this is when UAB was awful at football before they killed the program. But I have all that stuff saved on here, and I go back and listen, and there's some segments where I was on the air. And when I'm on the air, I talked like, you asked me a question. Yeah.
No.
I don't, what? Yeah. Okay. That's how I talked about everything. Obviously, I kind of had to learn a little more to actually be on radio and actually talk and everything, but it's fun to go back and listen to like you doing stuff, me doing stuff. I have stuff when Laurel, like when we first started dating, the first week we were dating, I was gone to the Super 7 down in Auburn, the high school championships. And so she was filling in. And so I have clips of her like actually being on the show because she was filling in on primetime at the time.
And I
so,
messed up on something and someone yelled at me. But it wasn't Jon.
Well, I wasn't there. But like it's funny to listen like when Laurel's radio voice is on. Like it's not really on here, but when we were at Jocks, she would have like a radio voice that would turn on.
I never had a radio voice.
I have a radio voice.
Kind of do. I feel like you.
No, like how I'm talking now is how I would talk to you guys if the mics were off.
You talk pretty much the same. A lot of people do talk the same. I go from like
you get a little louder. You get a little more animated. You are really
when
reserved.
I just talk, I just mumble and like stutter and mumble but when I get on radio, I try to. Hello, this is John Lunsford on the radio. But it is fascinating to go back and like see old things I've written, old things. Like the whole reason I got into journalism in the first place wasn't actually interning. It was an article I wrote for the school newspaper because when we started a football program at Birmingham Southern, everybody trashed it. Because it's like, oh, football players are just like dumb jocks. We don't want them coming in ruining our high academic reputation at Birmingham Southern. And so I wrote like,
how they doing right now?
What happened to that?
They don't exist anymore.
Oh,
but I wrote a column.
Damn.
That that our friend Jeremy Burgess was working for the newspaper, and so he helped me get the column into the paper. It got put out there, and like teachers and everybody reached out to me like, "Oh my God, this is so great! I love that you wrote it." It's like, oh, maybe I should actually write. I never thought about doing that because we never had that kind of stuff in school. We didn't have like a school paper or anything in high school and all that. And then I interned with y'all, and I was like, maybe I will do this journalism thing. Huge mistake, by the way. Don't study journalism. Study computer science. Learn an actual skill. But
work for Tesla.
Get in the medical field. Yeah, get in the medical field.
Go be a doctor or an astronaut or something. But yeah, it's just funny to go back and listen to like old stuff like on the radio.
A lot of people will knock like TikTok and YouTube and all that, people that post. But I think it's actually, those are kind of like home movies. Like going back, because I have so many vlogs that I did like a couple of years ago. And I could say even I taught differently then. And just, but I mean, I have stuff from our honeymoon. I have stuff from like our first trips.
How often do you look back at that?
Pretty frequently, honestly.
Because you got a catalog.
I have a huge catalog.
She finds stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I have no earthly idea. I can't find a picture she sent me from yesterday because we've texted back and forth enough. She'll go back. Remember this in June of 2019?
I'm the
and it's
historian.
Like, no,
because I have an excellent memory, which is bad for some people, but good for. I mean, I really do. I have an excellent memory, but I like to keep. I love photos. I love having photo albums. I told you about junk journaling, which is just like what Gen Z calls scrapbooking. But I do like to keep. Pretty much. I don't know. I just think it's fun. I think it's fun to look back on things. It's not.
I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, like, you have a lot of material, though.
Oh, I have a lot of material.
Well, it's because she goes back and she's like, remember when I did this video 3 years ago on TikTok and it blew up? And it's like, no, I don't remember videos I did 3 years ago on TikTok. Like,
I remember.
My thing is, I hardly ever post. I post a ton on Twitter, but I don't post on Instagram. I don't post on Facebook. I don't post on TikTok to where like I can find my old stuff pretty quickly. Like I literally found randomly a video I did of Nick Saban farting. That was the one viral video I've ever had where he got knocked over during an LSU game and Alabama lost to LSU a couple years ago. And there's a video from like falling over as a player hit him, and as he falls down, I make him fart. And with the curb music playing behind him. But like I found it that was actually this morning. We posted a movie review yesterday, so I was looking to see how it was doing. I scrolled back like 2 rows and there it is. Like that's how little I post on everything. With her, it's like I had literally posted 5,000 videos since this one, but remember this one, and she finds it
because it will stick out to me.
And I'm like, how do you even remember that?
I remember details, which I guess it was on Friday, we tried some new treats from which that review is going to be up very soon.
Yes, I need to edit it, but
from Cali Coffee, and we're going to be hitting the road with Rockstar going everywhere this summer.
Going everywhere.
Like where are we going to pop up?
You don't know.
Well, I went to Seasick Records to pick up a record over the weekend, and we're going to take you there very soon. I felt very nostalgic and homey when I walked in because they have a huge row of cassettes. So I guess people use cassettes now, and like a whole thing of CDs.
I don't know how.
And it really does make you feel old though when you see other people that are like, oh man, do you remember when this, like I wasn't born when this album came out. It's like Millennium from like the Backstreet Boys. It's like, oh no.
Millennium?
Millennium. Yeah. That was the name of an album, right?
Was it Will Smith?
Yeah. The Millennium.
Millennium, yeah.
What is the first time that you saw something that made you feel old? Like something like that.
There's no getting a new car. There's no CD players in cars anymore. I don't even think, are there cigarette lighters in those push lighters that you put your charger in, your phone charger?
There are, depending on the car. Cigarette lighters don't have the actual like cigarette lighter in them anymore. It's the same slot.
Yeah, it's just for
and I think you
charging.
can like put a cigarette lighter in there if you really wanted to, but I mean, you just have a light and just.
Because I remember
feel like that's not really a thing anymore.
Remember my first car had a tape deck, and the next car had a CD player, no tape deck, single CD player, and then these last 2 cars I've had, there's no CD player, no tape deck. And it's just like this.
What's the first CD that you ever bought?
Eddie Money, Walk on Water.
Okay, what's the first CD you bought?
I don't remember the first CD I bought. The only CD I remember buying was I remember having to convince my mom to let me buy Put On Your Pants and Jacket. Or no, take off your pants and jacket.
Is that the one with the nurse in the front?
No, that's Enema of the State. Is it Take Off Your Pants and Jacket? It's the next one after that.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Take Off Your Pants and not Put On Your Pants. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket is the one after that. Enema of the State. That's one with like all the small things and everything. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket is like Rock Show, First Date, those songs. But it's obviously a very adult album. And I was probably mid-teens at that point, and I was out shopping with my mom, and I tried to get her convinced, and I was like, "Look, it's good music, though.
Yeah,
like you have to.
It's not about lyrics.
Appreciate
it's about
the music.
Travis can play some
I do
drums.
like Blink-182, and he can play the drums, but
And married to a Kardashian.
that's really the only thing I really remember buying as a kid. I'm sure I bought other stuff, like I remember buying the first Now CD.
Oh, and it's like now like 200.
It's the only one I ever bought.
I never did those.
I only ever bought the very first
That
one.
was just like had the hits. I remember buying Thriller. Like it was like a certain edition had come out, and I asked my mom, I was like, "Can I have this?" And she was like, "Okay." And then the other CD was Spice Girls, because I was obsessed with the Spice Girls. I mean, my CD collection. You have to admit, you were shocked when you saw my CD collection at my parents' house.
She has a big CD. The thing is, it's how many things she has that are still wrapped. We went through her childhood bedroom, and she had like a little entertainment center with some drawers, and she opened the drawers, and it's like there's just a ton of wrapped things. She had like 3 copies of like the Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, like soundtrack wrapped still. And
Do you
it's
remember
like,
Beautiful Stranger?
Why?
Madonna?
Why? What purpose?
I am as good as it gets soundtrack. It's like, why did I buy those? Like, what?
It doesn't get any better than that.
And then I honestly might be kind of rare. I have back when Walmart was, I guess they still sell CDs, but I was obsessed with Eminem.
Oh, of course.
And I bought the Marshall Mathers LP, which is, his best album. And they had it edited. So you listen to it and like every other word is bleeped.
Yeah.
But then they stopped selling it because so many people complained about it.
So you have a collector's item.
I feel like it is a collector's item. It's
I guess.
a non raunchy
nonfiction.
Yeah, it's nonfiction.
But no, I remember the Walk on Water. I remember singing that in kindergarten on the way to the lunchroom, and like, okay, so I think I got the single. Then I got into Guns N' Roses, probably because of my brother. And I remember when Terminator 2 came out, You Could Be Mine was the single, and I got that cassette tape. It was Use Your Illusion 2, and they said you get buy one get one free. And so instead of getting Use Your Illusion 1 because they were sold separately, I saw Terminator 2, and for some reason I got the score.
You I have to have it.
All it is like 15 different versions. Of
I always ask this, did they ever stop Judgment Day? Because there's been like 15 movies. Have they ever stopped it?
No,
it
John
depends
Connor.
on which storyline you follow.
But has it ever been stopped in the originals?
I don't think so, because
Skynet.
it eventually gets to Terminator Salvation where it's happened, and then they have to like try to keep it from getting worse after that. But yeah, I don't know. I do remember you mentioned Guns N' Roses. It did remind me. I did buy an AC/DC live album that was really, really good. Because when I was in high school, we would always listen to Thunderstruck on the way to get food, and then listen to Highway to Hell on the way back from getting food.
Not like going to a game. We're gonna listen to Thunderstruck when we go to Wendy's.
If we had a home game or we were playing a team that was close, because around Homewood, like most schools were pretty close, they would let us leave after school. Like 2:30 or so, we'd have like a pep rally, and we'd leave. And we'd go to Sam's Super Sandwiches and get something to eat, and then we'd come back because we had to actually be there by like 4 to start getting dressed and go to the game. So it was me and a couple of my friends would always get in the car, go, and we'd listen to Thunderstruck on the way there and Highway to Hell on the way back. That was like our routine, was doing that. And then I also bought the what was it called? The Jay-Z and Linkin Park Collision Course.
Yeah, that's a good album.
I love that, and so I would listen to that before the game. That would always be the music I listened to before the game.
I loved
Just
Oasis.
randomly thinking of CDs I
Oasis
bought.
is great.
When I was like 12, or maybe I was probably even younger than that. I was probably like 10 or 11. It's when my brother graduated high school, and there was a Sam Goody, and I wanted to get my hair done for some reason. My brother's graduation. My mom was like, "I need a haircut." Too at that Regis. Remember Regis? And my mom got her haircut, and it looked awful. Like it would look like a soup bowl had been put on her head. Just said she was in a bad mood, and I was like, "Can I go buy some music?" And she was like, "Sure." And she just gave me like 2 20s, and I brought the new Oasis album, and I bought "Oops, I Did It Again."
And that's another thing.
What a great,
Those albums were like $17 back then.
Yeah,
Which is insane.
they're
Now,
more
like, when
expensive
people,
now.
Well, no, people have Spotify and stuff like that. Where
Yeah,
you're paying a
I
membership.
can't tell you the last. Now, I went to Atlanta for Record Store Day a couple of years ago and just bought a ton of vinyl just to like have almost more decoration than anything, and spent like a couple $100 because it's all expensive. And then outside of that, I can't remember the last album I actually bought to listen to. The Midnight, my favorite band, I'll buy some of their like deluxe stuff, but it's more for the stuff you get with the album more so than like, oh, I got a
That's
CD
how they get
of
you.
it.
It's like this will have a certain sign.
like,
yeah.
It's got like a photo that's kind of cool, and then
One
have like an
extra
autograph,
song.
and then it like comes with a T-shirt and stuff like that. I can't think of the last album I bought. Just I went to buy this album, so I have this album because I can just listen on Spotify
It was
now.
Pearl Jam. I was probably
Mine
Backspace
was-
or 2009.
The Tortured Poets Department.
It's on Spotify. We listened to it on. It came
Yeah,
out
but
while
the
we
physical copy is so much better.
It came out
I have
while
a
we
CD
were
player
driving.
though.
But it came out while we were driving to Disney, so I just pulled up on Spotify and played it. And guess what? That's all I ever have to do to play it. Look, physical media is cool and all, but like, it's more for collectors' sake now. There's
I thought
no
music
reason
is the
to
biggest
listen
one.
to it.
Yeah.
When you can find a perfectly high quality version
Well, 'cause
somewhere online.
there's going to be a day where Spotify like this is gone. You're like, well, I had that playlist. Like, well, it's gone. But I'd spent so much time on that playlist. Well, you didn't own that music. It's gone.
And you know what? We'll be listening to
You know
Austin
what?
Powers is by
None
Who
of us are
Shagged
going to
Me.
have CD players, cassette players, or record players at that point.
That's the thing where people are saying like Amazon. If you bought a movie from Amazon to have on
You
your,
don't own it.
You don't own it. If Amazon collapses, like that's it. Like and they can just take it away.
I have a
We
ton
don't
of stuff
There
on Amazon
is
and
a
YouTube
huge
both.
rise in that though, because it's interesting to see Gen Z going, like they'll go on hunts for physical media and they'll go to the thrift store and be like, all right, here's my VHS haul. It's like, I have to have the VHS haul of like,
Back
bring
to
it
the
on.
Future 3. Damn it.
I buy most stuff on YouTube because I don't think YouTube's ever going away.
Well, I don't think Amazon's going anywhere. But I'm just saying.
If YouTube ever collapses, the world collapses with it, I think.
Do you remember you used to have to record stuff? Like if you wanted, like I remember I used to record like the VMAs because it's like I'm gonna watch this again. I'll have to study the performances. So I would record it. I'm sure at my parents' house there's probably like MTV VMAs 1998. It's like MTV Movie Awards 2000.
And it's like taped over something else, taped over something else, taped over something.
This is our wedding video.
Yeah.
Your Mystery Science Theater.
I must have the 2007
Yes.
VMAs.
I recorded over like several of my brother's Mystery Science Theaters because it's like it's
how
it's
dare
worth
you.
it to it's worth it to have the Teen Choice Awards.
You got to. Brittany's doing a new song.
That's what it was like.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone feels nostalgic now after they listen to this and go
Yes.
to the record store.
Go to the record store. Look
We're
around.
gonna be going there soon, so be on the lookout for that video.
We'll get our best records, I guess, and buy stuff.
And buy stuff.
Stuff-
Sell it, buddy.
Stuff,
Sell
stuff that'll sit over there in the corner and collect dust because we're never actually going to use it. All right. So this has been Off the Table. This is the second week of March Madness coming up. I hope everybody's brackets do well this week. I still have, I got 13 of the Sweet 16, and I still have 7 of my Elite 8 and all Final Four. So still have a chance to do pretty good here.
I
don't know
remember
what
I
mine
picked
is.
Duke, so I think Duke's still in it. That's all I
I
remember.
picked Florida. My AI bracket is actually doing better than me and actually doing really, really good. It picked Duke.
The way of the future,
AI is the way of the
Like-
future.
like the ice cream, Dippin' Dot.
Dippin' Dots. It's the ice cream of the future for the past 60 years.
We randomly brought that up the other day. It's like
It's at the movie theaters.
they still are not doing ice cream like Dippin' Dots. It's like I thought that was supposed to be the future.
Everybody
30 years
is
We're
ago.
gonna be
like
floating
this.
on the moon and
Yeah.
eat Dippin' Dots.
Flying cars. They're coming.
So yeah, go get some Dippin' Dots. Buy you a record and record player to not actually ever use it, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to Off the Table on virtual media.
.com.